My Love of Life Energy is a podcast created by Anna Scott. Anna knows that every human being sees life uniquely. In this podcast, she will talk to people and learn from them. These conversations are to shine the brilliance of each human being she speaks to. Join her. After each exploration, you will expand on your insights and see truth and beauty.
Good morning and good afternoon, and welcome to my podcast, My Love of Life Energy. And today I have something very unique happening. What's happened on my podcast is people are starting to reach out to me and want to be on this podcast. And today I have the great honor of meeting with Sri Preethaji, who they found me. I didn't find her, she found me. And I started reading your book, and it's touched me deeply. So I am deeply honored to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anna. Thank you for having me on your podcast and to reach out to your people.
Mm-hmm. Your message is beautiful. That would you be willing to explain or share with us? It's not an explanation, I realize that. And I can feel it in you about the two different states that we have an option of. There's only two states.
Yeah, this is a very powerful insight that we share with the world. That everyone, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, at this point, you are either in an inner experience you're having is that of suffering or a state of no suffering. That is, at this point, you are either feeling stressed or you're experiencing a very beautiful inner state. And when we talk about suffering or stress, we're just not talking about anxiety or sadness. Any inner disturbance for us comes under the bracket of suffering. And no suffering states are experiences of calm, love, joy, connection, togetherness. All these are no suffering states. Or you can experience the transcendence, or you experience very powerful states of oneness. Those are all no suffering states. Well, suffering states are, it would be anger, fear, irritation, frustration, insecurity, loneliness, sadness, depression. All these are suffering states. And the insight is at this point, either you are in a state of suffering or a state of no suffering, and there is no third state. And your experience of life is so much dependent on the state that you're experiencing internally. For the largest time, all of you probably believe that your external circumstances is not what you want it to be, and that is why you're feeling this. What if I'm going to tell you the other way around? You have nurtured a state day in and day out for several years, probably for many decades, and that has become your experience of life. And the greatest decision that you have to make in life is just not whom you will get married to, what career you will choose, or what path you will pick. The most important decision is from what state do you want to live and experience life? Is it from a state of suffering or a state of no suffering? Is it from a stressful state or from a beautiful state? Because that decision is going to determine the experience of one's life. And that is why we talk about having a spiritual vision. That is, we all know about visions for the external life in terms of your weight or in terms of your health or relationship or money or wealth, whatever it is. But you need to have a vision for your inner experience, which is probably highly, highly ignored in the current situation. Unless until you come across a situation where you're totally depressed, or you know you take up to the point, then bring attention to your inner experience, your inner state. But I think that vision to live in a beautiful state and go ahead from that beautiful state, create beautiful relationships, nurture a beautiful family, and create the wealth that you want, create, focus on the path that you want to focus on from that state. It's uh, it's very important to have that spiritual vision for one's inner state.
When you're talking, the vision that came to me was like the earth and the soil that we live in and grow in. It's this rich soil that you're offering people, a very fertile ground that they can live from and grow from.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, earth and the soil, and if the earth is rich and the soil is rich, you would begin to see the richness as, whether if it's a fruit bearing tree, you would see it and feel it in the fruits that it bears, or the strength that it has in terms of the tree that it can nurture. Very similar is one's life. So, if you are nurturing your inner state, nurturing beautiful states in your consciousness, then the tree for you would be your life, your relationships, your success, your wealth, your achievement, the joy and abundance, everything that life can give you is so much dependent upon the soil that you're nurturing, which is your state.
In your book that you wrote, you talked about what gets in the way is the selfishness, the I, can you speak more to that?
We're not talking about selfishness as such, Anna. What we're talking about is self-centric thinking.
Thank you. That's it. Sorry.
Yeah. Selfishness, as we know, is like, where you want to put yourself at the cost of somebody else. We, of course, we can talk about that as well, but we're not focused on that. We're talking about how in any suffering state, whatever that color of that suffering state is, whether it is fear or anxiety or sadness or whatever it is a state in which the entirety of one's thinking is revolving around oneself. That is, your thinking is going in rounds around yourself. And what does it actually mean to life? Let's make it more in terms of what it means to life. See, we are people who want to have beautiful relationships. We want to have a beautiful relationship with our partner, with our children. So we are somebody who are like to nurture. That's what we want. But unfortunately, by being in any of stressful states, by constantly getting to anxiety or fear or whatever it is, you're actually losing out on the ability to connect, because the structure of your thinking, the entire structure or the framework of your thinking is revolving around oneself. It is not allowing you to go beyond yourself to connect. But relationship needs that you kind of move beyond yourself to hold, to feel that togetherness, to feel that connection. That is, you want something, you really desire it, but unfortunately, your inner structure, if you want to call it the framework of your mind, it also means the thinking, the brain, everything is only limited in I if it is, if you are someone who has gone into move or moved into suffering or moved into anxiety and stress so much, so you lose on the ability to actually go beyond it, to hold, to connect, to feel all that you are losing out on. So, so that is why we talk about how the suffering, though it just feels like a simple thought or a simple emotion, it's so destructive in nature, to your relationships, to what you want in life, to feel so joyful, to feel it's kind of taking out all those experiences out of your life, because you have dwelled a lot of time in self-centric thinking, because that is the nature of any of those stressful states.
What I really saw from your book or what I've seen so far is that like the emotion that we can't be with is the one that I end up creating from. Like it gets reverberated out into life.
Absolutely. That is any state for that matter. I mean, in that sense, from a different perspective, if you look at life, we're all connected human beings, and there is so much of communication and connection that few of which you see, few of which we don't see. And I mean, the trees are communicating to the mushrooms in the forest floor. So there's a lot of communication that's constantly happening. But it's not only that, but there is a lot of invisible communication that happens in this field. And the way we are communicating is through not only through our actions, yes, you see that, not only through our words, but you also communicate through your state. So, if your state is any of the suffering states, let's take it anxiety. Say, if your state is anxiety, that is what you're moving into again and again, and you feel you have to be anxious because of the situations that you are in. Unfortunately, what it also tells is you're communicating to this field saying that you're open to more situations that can give me anxiety. You're open to more situations that can give me sadness, that can push me into fear. So that is the connection that your state and your life has. So if you are somebody who's going to constantly say, or going to be in anxiety and say it's only happening within me, or going to be in fear, say it's only happening within me, please understand it is not stopping there. It is the communication that you're sending out to this field, and the communication to opens up to situations, and you probably bring those people into your life to keep you in that state. So that is why when we actually talk about two states, and when we our vision is to actually help 8 million people live in a beautiful state, it's just not limited to how they're going to experience life. It is also going to translate as how life is going to
Oh,
treat.
wow. Have you done I just felt the exponential power of what you're doing. Because if it's 8 million and it goes out into the field, then what comes back? Do you have like I'm seeing a time frame? I'm seeing the transformation of humanity happen faster through you.
That is our vision. It can happen with everybody working together. Our vision is to actually have 8 million people live in a beautiful state, and 80,000 people live in a state free of suffering and in an enlightened state. So that is our vision with which we work. And as you said, like it's such a palpable experience in terms of what can happen to the world, because all the crisis, all the suffering, all the pain that we are seeing in the external world, either whether it's economic or political or climate or environment, it's we see it as manifestation of scores of people living internally, feeling so separate, so divided, so conflicted, and so much in suffering.
Mhm.
So, if one is able to free oneself from suffering, nurture beautiful states, that means this world will become a beautiful place. So that is
Heaven
our
on earth.
vision with which we touch as many lives as possible. And uh, the beginning to start with is to dissolve your stress and to unlock abundance. But our vision is 80,000 people living free of suffering, 80,000 people living in an enlightened state.
Oh my gosh, sign me up.
Beautiful. You're more than welcome. Please.
You have next weekend you have a summit, the Oneness Global Summit. And can
Yes.
you speak to that and what that's about?
So, Oneness Global Summit is in tune with the vision of 8 million people living in a beautiful state, day in and day out, nurturing beautiful families living in that new beautiful state. So, that is the vision with which the Oneness Global Summit is happening on July 18th, 19th, and 20th. It is happening online, it is free, anyone can join. People from all walks of life from different parts of the world, from Japan to the United States, to Europe. Every part of the world is joining online. And the first day on the 18th is to dissolve stress and unlock abundance. And as we just spoke earlier, stress is something. It's probably a global epidemic or pandemic by now, where everybody is talking about stress, whether you're young or old. It's like you're living with it, and it is impacting your body, your health, your relationships. It's impacting at different levels. So the first day is for dissolving stress and awakening your consciousness to greater peace and greater calm. So we will be leading you through wisdom, teaching, very powerful meditations for the first day. And the second day is for awakening to love abundance. That is awakening to love in your hearts, and then awakening to love in your relationships. There's one thing that we always say, like, you want love, you want to experience togetherness, you want to have a beautiful family, but for which you need to have a heart that can feel, that can connect, that can go beyond oneself. So the second day is for you to have these powerful insights and teachings and wisdom and deep processes, and also meditations to awaken to love in your hearts so that you can nurture love in your relationships. It could be relationship with a partner, it could be with a child. And that is for love abundance for the second day. And then finally, on the third day, on the 20th of July, the 3 hours is dedicated for again teachings, meditations, processes, and it is directed for you to awaken to abundance in your consciousness so that you can actually attract a lot of abundance in your life. So you can't get out from a place of lack, from a place of desperation, from a place of anger or fear, and believe that life is going to treat you with, or the universe is going to treat you with a lot of abundance. That actually does not go together. So it is actually opening up your consciousness to abundance within you, so you attract abundance into your life. That is creating wealth, success, achievement becomes easy to you.
What's it? I saw your building that I believe your husband, he spoke about it in the book, which looks amazing. But I'm so curious energetically to have that many people in this state. What's the feeling like in that building? And then what have you noticed about the forest around you because of it?
Actually, a couple of years ago, I don't know if you have a view of how the forest looked, it was dry. It's a very dry forest. But as people kept coming and as they continue to come and meditate in Ekam, if you see it through a drone, you would see it. It is lush green. It's green and a lot of vegetation, lot of life in that forest itself. And Ekam, the vision of Ekam is that people come there and meditate and awaken to incredible states in consciousness. So when people come to Ekam, that's what they experience. They experience very powerful states of bliss, of oneness, of experiencing the divine, feeling the union with the divine. So incredible experiences flood individuals who have not even probably closed their eyes for meditation earlier. So it is like a surge of the chi energy or the kundalini energy, which
Mhm.
people talk about. So it is a surge of energy into the Agnya and the Sahasrara, pushing them into very powerful states of consciousness. Probably, if it was earlier, you need to meditate for many years, many days together. But it happens just as they step into Ekam, sit down, and close their eyes and meditate. Very, very powerful experiences happen. And a lot of healing also happens at Ekam because the mind, body, and the consciousness are all connected. They're not separate, right? So when your
Mhm.
consciousness is immersed in such powerful experiences, it impacts the mind. The mind becomes very quiet and it impacts the body because such a surge of kundalini happens, then all the tensions. There is a relaxation. There is a prana that floods into different regions of the body, and there is healing happening because all everything is connected, right? The neural currents, the nadis, everything is connected. So a lot of healing happens as people sit down to meditate at Ekam.
Oh my gosh. And then they go home to their families. And what have you seen the reverberation into their families and their life after they leave?
That's a vision itself, Anna. Like each individual becomes a source of great light. Each individual nurturing a beautiful state. Each individual, it's become a nodal point to spread more
Mm.
light. And if your parents, we see parents go back to their children, the ability to connect and ability to connect though it sounds so simple, I would see it as an ability to nurture or create an entire framework and structure for your child
Mm.
internally. That is to nurture a beautiful, joyful, happy human being. Um, a parent needs to know how to connect. And that's what we see. We see young parents come immerse in such powerful experiences, open up their hearts, and they go back home. They're like, you know, nurturing that entire joy, happiness in the family, and wherever they go. If they're going to work, we see people take those states, nurture a beautiful state in the workspace, in the organizations. And there is a huge ripple effect in terms of how this beautiful state has become a way of life um, um, for so many people around the world.
I'm so curious. So I have been a seeker my whole life. I mean, not my whole life, 30, whatever years, lots of years. And I'm so curious when you wrote The Four Sacred Secrets, the distillation, I mean, how do I want to say this? Let me slow down. The truth is the truth, but the way that you've spoken about it is so accessible. And I'm so curious how this came to you, like, because it's so clear.
I think that is also coming from the vision of 80,000 people living in a beautiful state, and to see so many people living in a beautiful state and the impact that it can have on the world, the way the way it can actually positively impact the world. And spirituality for the largest part was kind of considered as the opposite of being materialistic. That is, you want to
Mhm.
renounce the world, you become spiritual. But what we feel is that spirituality is the heart and the essence of who we truly are.
Mm.
And what Sri Krishna Ji and I saw is to bring to seeing that spirituality get into lives, get into families, get into homes, get into workspaces, and wanting to see that happen for people who have never been spiritual, for people who have never been seekers in their life, but actually see the essence of what the spirituality is, how they can see it. I mean, it's so palpable, and with that vision, we wrote that book. We wanted very intense. If you
Mm.
say, yes, it is a very intense book, but we have kind of made it so accessible to people. And that is the way all our programs are, whether it is a 3 hour online program that we do, or whether it is the 40 in 49 days program that we do, like any program that we do, we kind of make it very simple so people can apply it, take it, get
Mm.
back to their families, get back to their world with it. And we teach them, we help them with simple meditation tools, practices, insights, realizations. Everything becomes ingrained in their spiritual evolution, if you want to call it that way. But then we want to see these people as being great parents or enlightened parents or awakened parents, awakened leaders, awakened teachers, awakened doctors. That is how we are seeing our work. So that is why you feel it that way, that it is made very simple. The most difficult insight is still made very simple so that you can get it.
That's what I've loved about it, is that it's so simple and it's so attractive. Who doesn't want a beautiful feeling? Who doesn't want to live from that beautiful state? That's always kind of like a duh. Does that make sense? How if somebody wanted to serve you, what could a human being do for you that would support you in your life, in your dreams, in this vision?
Just spreading the word that it is important to nurture a beautiful state. And here we actually call ourselves as technologists of consciousness. And we've created this entire ecosystem. um, Wherever you are, however you want, like we have created this entire system to nurture that beautiful state, um, and to make that beautiful state to become part of your lives. So you spread the word of a beautiful state. And I would
Oh,
say it's important that everyone learns to live in a beautiful state and change the way the brain is connected, change the hormones that is getting secreted in your body. You don't want your organs to be floating in stress hormones.
yeah.
So, so to create health, it is very important that to learn to live in a beautiful state, to create a beautiful life that has to become part of everyone's life. So if you can spread that message, and we are here to teach you how to nurture that beautiful state, how to change your inner experience, how to, even if it is like coming from a very old experience that you've had in life, we take it very, very deep. Like, we're not interested in anything superficial. We're not even
Mhm.
interested in kind of giving you a feel good experience, but we are actually talking about you nurturing a beautiful state and living in that state. And even if stress arises, to dissolve the stress so that it doesn't become part of your wiring in the brain. It doesn't become part of the way you live, because it gets habitual, right? Many times
Yeah.
stress becomes habitual, suffering becomes habitual, sadness becomes habitual. It is not only for one generation. What we have observed, what we have seen is how stress gets passed on through generations, suffering gets passed on through generations. We want that to break. And that is why every processes of ours, meditation, every teaching, every insight that we give is so much focused on liberation and freedom, so that you can truly live life joyfully,
Hey,
peacefully.
I I'm in. I think the best way that I could serve you is to live in a beautiful state.
Absolutely, yes.
I think that is the way that I serve you. That's what I just realized. It's one thing for me to pass this, which I am, but the
Yes,
greatest way I can thank you and serve you is to live that and be a model of it.
absolutely, yes. More people living in beautiful state, we would see a beautiful world.
I'm in for that. Sign me up. I'm in.
Absolutely. It'll be very wonderful to for everyone to join the Oneness Global Summit,
Yeah.
um, so that you open up to that beautiful experience that is possible for you.
It's a beautiful, generous offer. I plan on being there and I will share this and I will get this podcast out so that hopefully more people will hear it. Is there anything else you want to share today?
Nothing in particular, but it'll be very, very beautiful as you're going to go ahead and share this podcast with people. I would say, I would say there is this meditation called the Soul Sync meditation.
Mhm.
It's a meditation practice which is for around 12 minutes. And it kind of brings together breath awareness, opens up or touches different parts of consciousness, opens up to nurturing a beautiful state. So we have people around the world who wake up every morning, spend 12 minutes nurturing a beautiful state with this practice called the soul sync meditation. So it'll be very beautiful if you can share this meditation as a link. It's available all everywhere in the on the internet, and we can send you the link as well. So as you're sharing the podcast, it'll be very nice for the viewers to also hold a practice to nurture a beautiful state.
I will include that. I started doing it.
Beautiful.
And the humming, the bee sound, I mean, I have an invitation. I don't know if you want to do it now. You're welcome to do it here so people have the experience live, or you can just send the link and they can go find it if they're interested. But I want to give you that choice. If you want to do the meditation right now with me as a closing, even if it's a smaller one, or do you want to just send the link?
We can start off with the meditation. We can close this session with the meditation. We can do that together.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of explanation is needed. So I will start with that first.
Okay.
So there'll be a lot of breathing involved, gentle, slow breathing, and you will breathe with the touch of your thumb and your fingers. So that is one information, and the rest of it just can flow. So you place your palms both facing skywards. You place them on your thighs. Be seated in a very comfortable position. Breathe in and breathe out, slow and deep. And count your breath with a touch of your thumb and your fingers, one after the other. So this would be for one cycle of breath. The second cycle of breath. For the next 8 cycles of breath, you inhale deeply. As you exhale, make a humming sound that would vibrate your head. For the next 8 cycles of breath, inhale and exhale, bringing attention to the tiny pause that happens between every inhalation and exhalation. For the next 8 cycles of breath, inhale deeply. Exhaling, you will chant aham, which means I am the limitless consciousness. Aham.
Um,
Aham. 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 Bring a gentle touch between your thumb and your index finger on both your hands. See yourself expand into light. everything around you becoming light. You're becoming one of the unitary field of consciousness. This space now hold a heartfelt intention that you want to see manifest in your life. See it and feel it happen. Allow your hearts to move into a space of gratitude. For the blessing that you've received from the universe. Take a deep breath. Slowly open your eyes with a smile on your face.
I can't thank you enough for who you are in this life and what you're doing for life, with your life. It is nothing but an honor. Thank you. I will send this out and I will be there.
Beautiful. We'll see you again in the Oneness Global Summit. And we'll definitely like to see you in person.
So much love to you and your family and all the people and plants and animals you touch. Thank you. Namaste.
No.
And all of this will be up on podcast, the way podcasts do it. But right now, just love.
Love you. Namaste. Love and blessings.
Namaste. Thank you.